With the chapter markers now correctly aligned, the pipeline moved from local rendering to high-volume deployment, where the team collided with the rigid constraints of the YouTube Data API.
We attempted a batch push of 200 synthesized videos. We had the Kokoro audio tracks and Presenton visuals ready in a queue, but 10 minutes into the run, the entire pipeline seized. Every single trigger started returning 403 errors. We tried to implement a basic retry loop, but that actually made it worse. The system just hammered the endpoint faster, extending our lockout. To make matters worse, we had several 4,000 renders that reached 99% upload before failing entirely because the OAuth2O token expired midstream, forcing us to restart the entire multiplexing and upload process for those files.
This was a classic encounter with quota cost asymmetry. The team treated a video upload, which is a resource-heavy operation, as if it had the same cost as a simple metadata update. In the YouTube Data API, the cost delta is massive, similar to the difference between a full database migration and a single record update. By firing 200 uploads simultaneously, they burned through their daily quota almost instantly. The subsequent failure was an exponential backoff failure. Instead of a staggered, widening interval between retries, their bot spammed requests after the initial 503 error, which the API interprets as a denial-of-service attempt, prolonging the lockout. Finally, the 4,000 failures highlight a token expiration race condition. Because these large files take longer to transit through ffmpeg processed containers, the session timeout occurred before the final byte was acknowledged. The team had to pivot from a parallel execution model to a quota-aware queuing mechanism. To their credit, the subject correctly identified that the failure was happening at the API layer and not within the internal Kokoro or Presenton generators, which prevented them from wasting time debugging the media synthesis logic. This chapter explored the pitfalls of a PI throughput, specifically how quota cost asymmetry and token expiration race conditions can cripple a pipeline.
We learned that aggressive retries lead to exponential backoff failure,
And that managing high-volume synthesized media requires a strategy that balances upload costs against metadata updates to avoid total quota exhaustion.